Welcome to the Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler.
All right, what's going on? Game day continues here. We'll get into some of these line combinations from down in Dallas, and obviously a deeper discussion on that coming up on Two Guys in Goalie today with myself, Cass, and Gager. Dustin Nielson with you here on the Lock Shop. We'll take a look at some stuff that we already have up. I got a couple of CFL futures I think you should hop on right away, so we'll lay those out for you as well. But we do have those Oilers line combinations. Maybe we start there. We're going to have Huss join us obviously as well. The Lock Shop today and everything here at Edmonton Sports Talk is brought to you by our great partners over at Play Alberta. You only have a couple of days left to use our May codes, and then we'll have new codes for you starting in June. So you might as well use these if you haven't already. $5 deposit, YAG 50, you get a $50 free bet. Simple as that. Deposit 5, use the code YAG 50, $50 free bet. Deposit 20, use the code 100 sports, and you will get a $100 free bet as well. What do we already have up on the EST specials page today? Let's go take a look. Obviously, we are going to be heavily on the Oilers and Stars tonight. Stav had some line combinations from earlier, so we'll get to those. Edmonton Oilers to win, a McDavid assist, a Nuge point, and a Draisaitl. Two shots from Draisaitl, plus 320. And then the Connor McDavid, 2+ points, plus 100 as well. So you got plus 320 on the Oilers win, McDavid assist, Nuge with a point, and Draisaitl 2+ shots, plus 320. McDavid, 2 points, plus 100. I mean, let's be honest here. If the Oilers can win this game with 4 or 5 goals tonight, we're all going to be cashing several tickets along the way. All right. If you are watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. And yeah, feel free to chime in on the comment section. Of course, you can text us anytime, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Here's what the Oilers are looking like at their morning skate today. Connor McDavid between Corey Perry and the Nuge. Draisaitl with Kane and Kapanen. Henrique between Frederick and Skinner. And then Janmark with Arvidsson and Podkolzin. I know there is no Hyman in that lineup, but I do like it. On the back end, Ekholm skating with Bouchard, Nurse with Kulak, Wallman and Klingberg, and of course, the hottest goalie in the league, Stuart Skinner between the pipes. So Ekholm appears to be drawing back in alongside Bouch, and Jeff Skinner will play his second game with Henrique and Frederick. And then Janmark, Arvidsson, and Podkolzin should be an extremely aggressive line in tonight's game. I think those guys will be, might not play a ton, but when they're on the ice, they should be all over the opponent. So that's what you're looking at for the Edmonton Oilers. McDavid, Perry, Nuge, Draisaitl with Kapanen and Kane, Henrique, Frederick, and Skinner, Janmark, Arvidsson, and Podkolzin. Let's just take a look at some Corey Perry props for this game tonight. If you've not yet checked out the player props, how it works, you go to playalberta.ca, or if you have the app, and download the app. It's like any app. When you first get it, you're like, oh, well, it takes to get used to. But once you get used to it, smooth operator. So you would go to click on NHL, click on Oilers Stars, and then there's a secondary sort of banner. Just if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see popular totals, handicaps. Many of you know this, but a lot of people might not be familiar with it. Then you click player markets, and then that'll get you into the goals and the points. A Corey Perry goal tonight, and he's going to be rolling with Nuge and McDavid on that top line. Corey Perry goal tonight is plus 310. Corey Perry point tonight is plus 109. So pretty decent numbers for a guy who's going to be riding shotgun with McDavid, for a guy who already has 6 goals in these playoffs, and for a guy who's going to be the net front presence on PP1 the rest of the way here. So Corey Perry goal is an interesting play tonight at plus 310. One more time, those line combinations, and we'll dive into it much deeper on Two Guys and a Goalie today with myself, Cass, and Gager. That'll lead into EST afternoons with Hernan and Gager. Reed Wilkins show from 3 until 5 this afternoon with the Glue Guy, who's red hot. 5 plays of the day in a row for Glue Guy. And then I will be sending it down to Tommy. Hudson's on White. Pre-game show at 5 o'clock. Post-game to follow. All you nasties who are going to be down there tonight, have a good time. Matt over in the chat says, Dusty, I'm on that early bird bet with you. I really like that one. Hey, I really like that too. All right, let's bring in Huss from Winnipeg Sports Talk. A big game to set up here in Edmonton, Huss, and we'll get to it. But Florida Panthers fell behind 2-0. Like if Carolina was ever going to win a game, you could have 2-0 at home in Game 5. Didn't matter. Florida raced that thing, very quickly once they got going and did not look back.
Yeah, they're the better team. They deserve to be back. And hey, the Oilers, if they're going to get a chance to win the Stanley Cup, they're going to get another crack at the team that beat them in 7 last year. I've been talking to a lot of people. Normally, you would think a Stanley Cup rematch is not really something that average fans would be up for. I think it's very different this year. I think people are really into this matchup. I mean, when you think about last year's Cup final, with the Panthers racing out to a 3-0 lead and everyone writing the Oilers off and then winning one and then getting it back to Edmonton and then winning Game 6 and going all the way to 7 and falling short. I mean, there's a real wrestling sort of finish the story element to this run by the Oilers right now. So, listen, it's going to be on them tonight to get this thing done. I think it would be great for all parties involved if they can, because we'll get the Cup finals starting earlier. For everybody else, we can get to the off season officially earlier. But obviously, there's still some work to do for the Edmonton Oilers. Did you? I just got to bring this up while we're talking about the Florida Panthers. Did you hear and listen to Paul Maurice after the game yesterday?
Buddy, it's right on my list of things to get to, because as a guy who had Maurice in his market for a long time, I'm more fascinated on what you thought of what he had to say.
But before I say this, what was your take on this?
Okay, so we had Bruce Boudreau on today, and he talked about it. He goes, I never wanted to go in the handshake line. He goes, if the other coaches didn't go over, I wouldn't go over. I'd just go back to the room. He goes, I have no problem with that. And you know what? It's an interesting take. If you think it's just the players, that's fine. But the way Maurice is delivering things, and I feel like he's almost elevating himself above everybody else in the hockey world with like some of the things he's saying now. And I don't necessarily like it. I mean, but I also, it's also, we talk so long, oh, well, all these coaches and players give you all these cookie cutter answers and stuff. And, it is good that Maurice will dive into things, a lot more than others, but I don't know, his delivery or the way it's not coming across well with me right now. I don't know. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it.
He stood there and ostensibly said, this isn't for us. It's about the players, and then proceeded to talk for 2.5 minutes, making it all about himself again. Like, this guy, and listen, he is a treat to have in your market. He'll always give you good quotes. He'll always give you good sound. But make no mistake about it, he always feels like he's the smartest guy in the room, and he'll make sure you know it. And this press conference last night, going over, and I asked Rod Brind'Amour, because apparently it looked like it was a bit of a heated conversation. And he goes, no, it was just about not going in the handshake line afterwards. And I'm like, Maurice is telling Rod Brind'Amour what to do?
Yeah, I know.
Rod Brind'Amour has over 1,600 games in the National Hockey League as a player. I think that's more than Paul Maurice has lost games as a coach in the NHL, which is a significant number. So for Maurice to do that and then to talk about it so eloquently afterwards, taking a high road, saying that it's all about the players, like, come on, man. And for him to, and I tweeted this out, he's like, I don't even know how this all started. I think some coach just wanted to get himself on camera.
Yeah.
For Paul Maurice to drop a line about a coach wanting to get in front of a camera is the most over-the-top, stomach-churning narrative I have ever heard. And I'm just happy that it seems that from reaction on social media and comments in some of these clips, not everyone is getting all sucked in by the Maurice show right now. And hey, listen, credit to him, credit to his team for being there. But you know what? Fine. You don't want to do the handshake line? Go just tell Rod, hey, you know what? I don't think I'm going to do it. Go do it if you want. Like, why the hell is he asking Rod Brind'Amour not to go do that? This is none of his business. You want to take care. You want to handle your own thing.
Well,
Fine.
that's the other thing, man. Like, that was one area that I don't think has been talked about enough. I mean, okay, so Maurice doesn't want to go shake the other team's hands. Well, then don't go shake their hands. But if Rod Brindamore wants to go shake the other guy's hands, Rod Brindamore can't do that because Paul Maurice suggests that it should be just for the players. Like, Rod Brindamore shouldn't have to do shit of what Paul Maurice says. You know, if Brindamore wanted to go shake hands, you know, shake Maurice's hand, and then Maurice can leave. And if Brindamore wants to run over and shake the hands of these guys who just eliminated his team in impressive fashion, if he wants to go do that, then let him go do that. I don't know. And then what's going to happen if they win the Stanley Cup? Is he not going to shake any of the players' hands then either? Like, they're not going to. I don't know. I just didn't like his delivery of it. I mean, the whole
new.
Yeah.
This is all new for Maurice. I mean, he was out there shaking Chara's hand 2 years ago. I mean,
yeah.
I certainly don't remember any of the time he was with the Winnipeg Jets, him not being out there and the staff's being out there and shaking hands beforehand. It's just weird. And again, this is more attention-seeking behavior from a guy that should not need to be seeking any attention. He's going to the freaking Stanley Cup to defend a championship right now. It was nuts. I see Matthew Kachuk is in the chat though right now. You keep my coach's name out of your mouth, Huss.
Oh, I really want to meet the guy who's behind all those player accounts. I'm very entertained by them.
Here's Jack. I think Paul Maurice is right. Handshake lines should just be for the players. They're the ones that put it all on the line. The game starts and ends with the players. No one is debating that.
Yeah, well, that's what's the thing. Like, a part of the way Maurice delivers it is taking away from the actual thing that he's trying to get across, right? It's
and you know what? Listen, that's great. You won. You're moving on to another round. If Rod Brindamore, who's been with this team and has played, as I mentioned, like over 1,600 games in the National Hockey League, wants to go out there and pay respects to the guys that just beat them, that should be his prerogative to do it. Like, let's face it, no one really cares about the coaches in the handshake line until all of a sudden one guy goes and peacocks in front of the camera, makes it a big deal, and then tries to act holier than thou that he's the one that's the real arbiter or protector of the game. I mean, it's just like
the coach. It started with the coach Maurice trying to get on the camera. That line coming from Maurice, you're right, Huss. Like, that is, it's
outrageous. outrageous for him to say that. So, anyways, I think there's a lot of people that, you know, if they were sort of, who am I going to go for? I think I'm now, and you know this, since 2011, I have maintained, like, I'm not one of these guys like, oh, I just want a Canadian team to win the cup. It is getting a little old, the fact that Canada hasn't won since 93. I mean, the longer it gets, the more I'm like, okay. But I've always been a guy going, no, I don't want the Leafs or the Oilers or the Canucks. I want the Jets to be the team that would win the cup. I think that ship has sailed right now. And obviously being close with you guys and getting support from so many nasties for what we do.
Hop on board, everybody. Let's go.
I think there's going to be, even with Maurice being a former Jet coach and still has a lot of fans here in this market, I think we're going to put past history behind us, bygones be bygones. I mean, I don't know what it's going to be like actually cheering for a team with Corey Perry on it in the final. This is not great, but I got to tell you, this is going to be fun. And I really do think for the first time, legitimately, other than a few pockets, probably Southern Alberta, and we talked about maybe Vancouver, I think the country, assuming the Oilers finish the job against Dallas, is definitely going to be fine. And I had this other conversation too with a friend yesterday. So this is a non-Edmonton. This is an other Canadian market version, especially in the West, being here in Winnipeg, of the pros and cons of Edmonton winning the championship. Like, if they get to the cup final and lose again, we're basically just right back where we started. The Oilers are on the brink. They've got Connor McDavid. They've got Leon Draisaitl. Assuming that McDavid sticks around, you know, they've been so close, like they need to finish the story and get over the hump. The other option is that they finally get it done. McDavid is a champion. Draisaitl's a champion. Edmonton's won another cup. But that pressure, that narrative and everything around that team with that sole focus of winning maybe isn't as as prominent as it is this year, and it is right now until these guys win. I mean, we're in this sort of ring-chasing society where apparently the only thing that matters is if you win a cup. You know, great season, you can do all these things, but if you're not on that one of 32 teams that wins, you know, you're thought of as lesser than. So maybe the Oilers will let up a little bit in the future if they get this one now. I don't know, but I do think that this team is poised to do it. And as I say, the last couple of times we've seen rematches, it's the team that lost the first time get it done. The Oilers are going to be in that position. I think they're going to have a very good chance to do it, but they got to win this game, preferably tonight.
Yeah,
get this thing started a little earlier.
Yeah, if they both win tonight, the series, or if the Oilers win tonight, Stanley Cup final starts Wednesday. If they don't win tonight, it starts next Saturday. So we'll see how that plays out tonight. But the NHL has their planning ready to go for this thing moving forward. You know what? Just quickly one more on Florida, because once again, for a coach who doesn't think coaches should be in the spotlight, we spent the first 20 minutes talking about something Paul Maurice said. The Florida Panthers are just... Is this the best version of the Florida Panthers, do you think?
I think so. I mean, you add in Brad Marchand and Seth, and like this, and to add Seth Jones, like it's not just Seth Jones. It's like the best version we've ever seen of Seth Jones.
He's perfect in that spot, isn't he? Like
the game that he played against the Leafs in Game 7, I think unequivocally was his best game as a National Hockey Leaguer when you consider the stakes, the scene, the setting. And then, I mean, all these other guys like Lindell, Luosterainen, Verhaeghe goes from a fourth liner in Tampa, and now he's legit star top 6 player with Florida. Like they've made a lot of great bets that have come in big. They have drafted well. And listen, they do have the benefit of being one of the markets in the NHL where players want to go play the most. Obviously, there's the tax thing, which I think helps. I don't think it's everything.
Yeah, you know what? I want to talk about that. Did you see the Bissonnette thing last night on TNT? Bissonnette and Anson Carter going back, and Biss was like, I think they got to work something into the next salary cap to sort of level the playing field from a tax perspective with the cap. And then Anson Carter kind of called him out on it. And I was looking at some of the replies to that, and people were like, Biss is nuts. Like but I mean, it is an advantage of some level. Like, how much is it? I'm not sure. But players can make more money by taking less to play in Florida. And Florida and Tampa have now made 6 consecutive Stanley Cup finals between the two teams in the state. I mean, and you can say, well, why weren't they going there before? Well, I would argue that, cap management has become so much better over the last 5 to 10 years that it took them a little while to get to the spot where they could take advantage of it. So I don't want to take anything away because they have built a lot, but you can't tell me that for them and these other states that have significant tax advantages, that it's a level playing field. Like, it's just, you should be able to do more with your cap space when guys are going to be taking less money because they know they're going to actually make more money by staying there. It's a great loophole for those two teams. And I don't know if it's a coincidence that they've made 6 straight Stanley Cup finals, but it's pretty damn impressive either way.
It's compelling evidence. I'll say that. And listen, being in smaller Canadian markets where it's cold, the taxes suck, everything. I mean, these are all just things that, are bigger challenges for those of us north of the border, especially where we're at right now, than a bunch of those other teams. We love, if it's all about playing in just the hot places.
31 degrees in Edmonton today, my man.
Is it? Nicely
Come on
done,
down. Yeah. Come on down if you want to play in a warm climate in the playoffs, right?
I love it. Hey, I got to give a quick shout out to my guy, Elmo. What's up, Elmo? Hustler, this is great feedback. Your disdain for Paul Maurice is interesting, especially since you've had him in your market for so long. Agree with you 100%. And then Elmo fires back, Hustler, don't forget what hockey team paid your bills for a while.
Yes.
The Edmonton Oilers Hockey Club. Jump on the wagon. Hey, I'm with you guys. And I will say the vast majority of people in the WST chat every day are sort of have got themselves locked in. And you know what? Like, listen, from just a hockey fan and a Canadian hockey fan's perspective, Connor McDavid, And Draisaitl. I mean, I know we think of as McDavid as the best player in the world, but man, like Draisaitl at one point was skating with Podkolzin and Kapanen in a playoff game.
And they were a great line, actually. They played really well together. Yeah.
Exactly. No disrespect to those guys. They're earning their minutes, obviously. There's a lot of other great players. But I do think with what those guys have done for your market, for that team, for the league, they deserve it. And I can't handle a smug Paul Maurice going back to back and then getting more of this for next. It might bring him down a notch or two because he's feeling himself right now.
Somebody needs to tell Maurice that when he's ready, there's a TV job for him somewhere, so he doesn't need to play it up anymore. You know, like you're good to go. There'll be a gig for you somewhere. Just we don't need the extra stuff in these availabilities. 780-218-9999. If you're watching the Lock Shop over on YouTube today, it's brought to you by Play Alberta. Hammer the thumbs up for Huss and I over there as well. Huss, let's get into this Oilers Stars game tonight. I already laid out a few things that we've already got up for people. The early bird bet from the Nielson show this morning: Edmonton Oilers to win, a McDavid assist, a Nuge point, and Draisaitl over 1.5 shots on goal is already there at plus 320. I am running it back because I hit it 2 days ago. Connor McDavid, 2+ points. That is plus 100. When you look at this game tonight, do you think Dallas forces the issue at home here? Or do you think maybe this is one that the Oilers have to squeak out maybe in overtime or something along those lines?
Well, funny enough, like we talked about this yesterday, that after being the dog for the first 2 games on the road, the Panthers were actually the favorite in Game 5.
Yeah.
Whereas the Oilers, who have now won 3 straight, are still actually a dog in this game. But I'm feeling Edmonton here. I mean, I just, and this is very similar to, Game 5 against Vegas, where they went in and, played the perfect road game to keep them in. And that identity of the defensive way that the Oilers are playing, I think is maybe the biggest eye-opener for people that don't watch this team every day, night in and night out. I mean, their ability for teams like Vegas and Dallas, 2 of the best teams in the West in the National Hockey League, to limit them the way they have, and maybe most impressively what they've done in third periods. Like these last couple third periods have been a clinic defensively. And I'll be honest, I don't think a lot of people thought that the Oilers had that in them. Like they've always been a team that, well, listen, they're kind of sketchy in the back, but they can outscore their problems because they have better players up front. And it really does seem like it's coming together. And, as I say, this is not their first time here. I think we see them play with the urgency of a team that wants to finish that series right now. Let their fans save a little bit of money for their Game 6 tickets so they can spend them on cup tickets, and be ready to get going earlier on and not allow the Florida Panthers a full week plus off before getting into that series. So I do like Oilers at plus 113. Hey, did you say the glue guy is on a 5-day heater?
Five days in a row. 5 days in a row with the play of the day. He hasn't sent me his play of the day yet, but he said it's probably going to be something around an Oilers win and Nuge. He's working on it right now. But yeah, he's hit 5 in a row. When we first launched in early May, I started in like a 4 or 5 game heater. He's on a 5-day heater right now as well. So no pressure. Well, you got a question? All right, turn on that mic and sit down here with the question.
Let's get the glue guy in here.
Hernan, come turn on glue guy's mic here for a second. Nancy, can you come? Glue guy, you sit down right here. He's got questions. We got. Hopefully, we'll have some answers here. All right, he's working on it. He's trying to get to a 6-game heater. We won't see him on the 2-shot, but what's the question?
I need guidance, fellas. Okay, so what I'm cooking right now.
Don't get too carried away.
I'm not
red hot right now.
So this may have answered my question.
Okay,
what you just said. But I got the Oilers win.
Okay.
Because on our show, Reed and I do predictions, I had the Oilers in 5.
Oh, so you have to.
I have to.
You're in on that.
I'm in on it. Nuge, point, more. How can I stop that train?
Yeah, I'm on it as well.
I want to sprinkle the over 5.5 in, though.
Ooh.
When I sprinkle the over 5.5, it takes it from plus. So without the sprinkle on the over, it's plus 153. When I put the over in,
It's over 3-1.
plus 274.
274.
Mix in a possible boost.
Yeah, you get a boost for sure.
Am I getting too greedy?
I mean, I could see a 4-2 Oilers win here.
Well, empty netters.
The empty netters in play. Huss, where do you come out on this 5.5? I'll pass along to Glue Guy here. I don't know if you'll be here.
Well, the one thing I'll say about this, why I might be hesitant to add that on, is think about what the Oilers did in Game 5 against Vegas. That was like, we're going to go in and we're not letting you score. I might point out, as much as I'm sure there's still a few people that don't want to admit in the market, that Stuart Skinner is the hottest goalie on the planet right now and simply doesn't let in goals. And if you look at last game, which I think will probably be relatively similar to the way this game tonight is played, it was a pretty close, tight checking game that only ended up going 3-1. So, I mean, unless you think that Dallas is going to all of a sudden find a way to get through to Skinner and the Oilers are going to have to win 4-3, 5-4, I kind of think that we're not going to see a big delineation from what we just saw in that last game. And I mean, to the Oilers' credit, in these tough, tight games where they're playing top competition and they need to win, it hasn't been about high-flying offense. It's been about taking care of their own end, helping out their goaltender, and the goaltender's been paying the bills. So I would maybe stay away from the total as much as leaning on the team to win and the Nuge.
So he's saying, think about what they did against Vegas in Game 5.
Mm-hmm.
Tight defense. Did you hear any of that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So
your headphones are quite loud.
Yeah. Could you hear through my headphones?
I could hear through your ears.
Oh my!
Maybe it's
God.
coming out your nostrils.
My God!
What?
And a lot of people
You could hear through my headphones. I got earbuds in.
A lot of people in the chat somewhat agree that this might be a lower scoring kind of grinded out kind of game. Okay, I'm on it. I'm taking off the over. I'm just going with Oilers money line, Nuge point, and that's at plus 153.
Yeah, I mean, that's a mini version of mine because I'm on Oilers money line, Nuge point, McDavid assist, and Draisaitl over 1.5 shots.
Okay.
So yours is a safer play. So if you don't want to get too carried away with me, go ride with the red hot guy right now.
Okay.
But the way things have gone, Draisaitl probably get one shot, but yours will hit. So yeah, all right, I'll send it over. I'll send it over right now. There you go. Kill that second mic there, Glue Guy. Let's see. Yeah, that one right there. Just turn it down. Okay, perfect. All right, there we go. A little bit of advice there. Huss, well said, my man. Well said.
Matt at the Garrison, I can hear Huss through your headphones too. So
No, you guys can't. You guys can't, right? You're messing with me now. I have them cranked, man. They're maxed out. So, hey, boys, is that a league game? Are we streaming it? Okay, good. The boys are playing a league game right now. Hernan versus Zach. Techmo.
Do we have okay, I don't know whether you guys have actually legitimately put up Techmo odds right now for these games, but Dusty, as the veteran, give me your is there a power poll of the Techmo League right now?
I can give you a straight up power poll right now.
Who would have the big minus beside their name when they're going head to head?
I have started 6-0. So if we're doing power rankings, I think I'd have to by default be first.
Yeah.
Awanek has 2 championships. He's 3-2 to start the year. So Awanek would be number 2. I would put Glue Guy at number 3, Hernan at 4, Trev at 5, Yukon Jack at 6, Zach at 7. That's the power rankings right now. And Zach's odds of winning the championship there are plus 1 million. So we don't have to worry about Zach going on a Cinderella run. By the way, if you want to check out that game, it's streaming right now. Twitch.tv/Yeg Sports Talk. Raiders and Bears.
Do you guys have is it a stand-up arcade?
Yeah, it's like a 5,000 unit stand-up arcade game. Okay, so we've got the camera set up at the top of the arcade unit. I'm gonna eventually put it up on the wall so you can see a bit of a wider shot. But I see Hernan's going with the Bears again.
Now. Everything makes sense because the first time that we were doing the show and Iwanek was playing somebody and I pulled this up, I'm like, it's weird that they're just on the side of the shot. Iwanek keeps doing laps of the room.
After every play, most of us step back and reset, man. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty, regular season action is intense. Regular season action is intense. So
Bears versus Raiders. Is that Hernan the Raiders?
Hernan's the Bears, and he's drawn the Bears like 5 of his 6 games or something like that. But he's playing Zach's the Raiders. This should be a blowout, to be honest with you. But we'll keep tabs on it. Good to see some regular season action. There's a touchdown.
Hernan in with the first touchdown.
I think it's Jennings with the touchdown there for the Bears. Big one. Nice start. Now Hernan's entire mood on his show from 1 to 3 is determined by whether he wins or loses at Techmo that day. So I'm very happy he's playing Zach today. So that's good.
Hernan, you know what? Hernan's show is just awesome. Him and Gager. We'll often raid them.
You guys send it over after. Yeah, tell Remo and you guys thanks for that. That's always fun.
No, we often do. Everyone loves it, but we're gonna have to we might need to do like a pre-tape or something with Latino Heat when we get in. I want to talk some Elks.
Yes. Yeah, he would love that. He's always available when you're in that pre-tape window. He would be available here if he's not getting his ass kicked at Techmo. So
he might be good. What is Tommy ready for? What are you guys doing for tonight's game?
We got Hudson's. We're at Hudson's on White tonight. Well, Tommy will be with a bunch of listeners. Marshall has a hockey game at 4:30, and then a baseball game at 6:30.
Hockey game at the end of May.
Yeah, I know he's playing spring hockey. It's usually one game every 10 days, but he's in a stretch here for some reason. First game of 3 and 4 nights. So tough haul, but he's got baseball after hockey today. So I'm going to miss. I won't be able to get down to Hudson's, and I'm probably going to have to watch the entire game on PVR after baseball. So this is being a parent. Am I right?
You got to get the app. You got to get the app so you can you just watch it live?
Well, here's the problem with the app, Huss. I'll bring you up to date on my app issues. He had a game Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock, and we had to go to it late in the second period. So I was watching, and we have a group of rotating coaches. So I wasn't coaching that day. So I was just sitting there watching with Tam and a bunch of the other parents at the River Cree, where the River Cree at the rink that Marshall was playing on, there's a window into a bar right there. So like people could come sit there at the bar and watch whoever's playing their kids or men's league or whatever. And they were ahead of the feed on my phone. So when goals would happen, you'd see the lounge light up. And then there was people sitting 2 down from me who had a better feed on their phone. And they're like, yeah. And I'm still watching the game. I'm like, what's going on with my phone? My feed was like 45 seconds behind. So kind of made it pointless. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably try to do that tonight. But with baseball, it's tough because I'll be coaching tonight. So it'd be a bad look if I'm coaching third and I've got my phone out and I'm watching the game. It's not really the best of ideas.
Maybe you get that. You know what? Hey, Muzz, you're coaching third.
Yeah, Muzz, you're stepping in at third. If somebody's running really fast, tell them to go home. If they're not, just tell them to stay. Yeah. Wave them home big time. Yeah. So, yeah, that'll be a little bit. I'd love to be down there, but yeah, there'll be a bunch of nasties down at Hudson's on White tonight. And beautiful weather, like we said. The patio will be open. See you guys later. So it should be pretty good. Huss, what is so you're like the Oilers puck line, but any other play that you would be willing to throw into a little parlay here?
I was just going to ask.
Not puck line.
I mean, this is the first game, obviously, without it's life after Zach.
Yeah. Well, let me bring you up to date. Jeff Skinner is going to play, and Matthias Ekholm draws back in tonight as well for the Edmonton Oilers. So there's those options.
Who's out for Ekholm?
Stetcher's coming out. Been a little bit of a honey badger. He's been good. Like he's done more than I think you expected or asked of him. But he is the team's number 7 defenseman, and Ekholm, when healthy, is their best one. So hopefully he'll be able to hold up tonight. And that should. And you talked about locking it down in the third, man. Well, now you throw Ekholm back in the mix there too.
Well, I'll tell you what. That's the one thing. I mean, if you are looking at Oilers' chances of winning. I mean, listen, I thought that the Oilers were good enough to get through the Pacific Division. But when Ekholm went out, that was my biggest worry and concern for Edmonton. I mean, how do they do it without him? And listen, everybody on that back end has stepped up. The noise around Darnell Nurse, very different than it was 12 months ago. I must say that. And, even Bouchard, defensively has been part of the solution as a part of the problem. So, yeah, I mean, listen, their defense just looking ahead and, projecting a Panthers-Oilers final, I think it puts them in a real good spot. But as far as, picking whether we're looking at point props or goal props, So am I looking at this right? It's going to be McDavid with Nuge and Perry.
Corey Perry, yep.
And then Kane is going to ride with Draisaitl and Kapanen.
Yep.
Interesting line. Janmark, Podkolzin, and Arvidsson. Although all those guys have been doing their part.
There'll be a buzzsaw line. Like I don't know how much finish there will be on that line, but they will be up in the face of the Dallas Stars tonight. I do know that.
It is funny because, I look at this lineup right now and, we talk a lot about the depth. Like, I don't see a lot of scoring depth in that bottom six right now. But again, if they're able to play, I'll be very interested to see how much Skinner plays. Because the style of play in those really tight 2-1 games, 1-0 games that the Oilers have done very well in. Yeah,
if they're up in the third, man, I don't expect him to see the ice much.
No, I think they'll be leaning on some of those other guys. But back to, if we're looking at, dropping a goal point or a point props, to me, I think you really have to look at that top six. Now, for guys that'll have longer odds, I know you talked about Perry. Could Perry be in a better situation right now? And listen, he's
net front on the power play, man. Yeah.
I could absolutely see Perry getting one. And I'll tell you what, I don't know whether this would be a goal prop, but Kapanen a point, potentially Evander Kane goal prop, or just getting in on points with Draisaitl leading the way. Because I do think, if the Oilers are lighting the lamp, if that lounge at the rink that you're at is going nuts ahead of your phone, I think we're going to be looking at basically concentrated in those top guys. Listen, if the Oilers can get anything offensively from the third or fourth line, huge win. And I think they almost assuredly win this hockey game. But I think the goal for Edmonton is going to be keep it even, Steven, when those guys are on the ice, and be one goal better than the Dallas Stars in their top six, which I think they've been pretty much consistently throughout this series. And that's why they're 60 minutes away from winning and moving on.
All right. So you know what? The Perry points plus 109, which is a nice starting point for a little parlay. Any thoughts on this Knicks Pacers game? Huss, Pacers plus 140 dogs on the money line. I'm looking at the spread right now, sitting at 4. Do you think they go into New York and deliver the final blow at MSG to the Knicks tonight, or do the Knicks take this thing back on the road?
It is a great question. An interesting conundrum. By the way, shout out to OKC.
Yes.
They wiped it, got the ride with Huss last night. It didn't look good early because the Panthers, of course, were down 2.
Yeah, when they're down, right?
But then they came back 3-2. I'm like, oh, what's going on in the basketball? And as we said, I kind of said yesterday on the show, I think this is going to look a lot like Game 7 against Denver, where they come out, have a great start, the crowd's going crazy, and this thing isn't close in the second half, and it was a no-sweat cover. I don't think that will be the same case tonight. I think this is going to be a really, really tight game. Now, I'm not sure I've got the stones to take the Pacers to win outright and just end this series right now, but I could absolutely see it happen. But I don't mind taking 4.5 points and thinking that we're going to have a real tight game. We've had overtime in this series. We've had 20-point leads on both sides being erased and the other teams won. So it sort of does seem like by the end of these games, the water is going to find its level, and that level is pretty damn close between the Knicks and the Pacers. I'll give the Knicks the benefit of the doubt for the home court. But I do think the Pacers can keep this. I'm just seeing this line's now to 4.
We move it to 4.5.
As far as player, the combos, I'm interested in, where are we at with someone like Halliburton? What did we say his line was? It was 32, 15.
It was 32, 15, and 12. 32, 12, and 15, whatever. It doesn't matter. It was a monster game. Yeah, so that would have been 59? Would have been 59 total points, rebounds, and assists.
Does Halliburton have a 40 spot in him tonight?
Ooh. 40 points?
40
total rebounds, assists. Yeah.
Assists plus rebounds. Because you can get a nice plus money number on something like that.
Yeah, that's What is? I'm just Halliburton's point total is 21.5. I mean, big spot here to be to be the star at MSG that sends the Knicks packing.
Well, and he is the heel, man. Like
Yeah.
he is playing into it so hard. And to be honest, I think he flourishes in that. Like, even if the Knicks win, I think Halliburton has a big game tonight. And he's been doing it in different ways.
That 21.5, man, I think I really like, considering, the opportunity that he has to become an all-time heel in New York City. Yeah. That's what he could do tonight.
You got Brunson's point total is in and around 30.5, 31. Cat, who had a big fourth quarter when they were in MSG the last time, or no, I guess that was in Indiana in game number 3. He's in and around 21. But yeah, like, I'm surprised does that not seem low? 21.5 for Halliburton?
Yeah, no, I love it, man. I already sent it off. Halliburton over 21.5 points, Corey Perry point. I mean, that's I don't know what this, to me, that's that line on Halliburton at 21.5 isn't taking the stakes of tonight's game into account. You want to run out at 21.5 for a game 2 somewhere, that's fine. This is a chance to finish a series on the road at MSG, be one of the biggest villains in New York basketball history, and send your team to an NBA final. I mean, he's a guy who I think, feasts on that storyline. So 21.5 seems like a low number.
What I'm just gonna look. What is he average?
Well, he had 2 games, I think, in this series that were under this 21. Let me bring it up. I was looking at his game log prior to last game, I think. Here it is. So he's gone off for 31, 14, 20, and then 32. And in the 230 point games, he shot the ball 23 times. In the losses, it was 15, or in the one loss, and then the other one where he only finished with 14. He had a bad shooting night. He was just 3 for 10 from beyond the arc, 5 for 16 from the field. But if he's going to be shooting the ball a ton tonight, I would think. I hope this isn't Anthony Edwards one shot in the first quarter of a half of a big game. So, and I just don't think it will be. So he's going to be shooting the ball tonight. When he shoots the ball, he finds a way to slash to the hoop. The 21.5, I like it a lot.
Just looking, Halliburton in New York in the first 2 games of the series had 31 points in the first game.
Yep.
11 assists, 4 rebounds. In the second game, only 14 points, but 11 and 8. The game that they lost was his quietest. 20 points, only 7 assists, 4 rebounds. And then the monster game at home, 32, 15, and 12 tonight. I'm with you. The over 21 points, I think we hammer. And because he's so involved in literally everything that they do, I mean, I would certainly be open to even an adjusted number of including the points, rebounds, and assists to get him into the high 30s or even 40. At that point, you're probably looking at plus 140, plus 150. So it might be a little bit more of a risky bet. But, I mean, something like over 34.5 for him.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're seeing something there, but that would be, like, as I say, I'm high on Halliburton for tonight. I do think the Pacers will be in this game right until the end. And if the Knicks win, I think they're going to have to gut out a close one and then have to do it again back in Indiana. But yeah, I think I'll be putting something together involving the Oilers. I love the Corey Perry point. I mean, to me, with plus money on a Corey Perry point.
Playing with McDavid and on PP1.
And on PP1. Like, how does he not get one?
Yeah,
So,
I might also want to sprinkle Corey Perry power play point too, because if he's going to get a point, odds are pretty good it does come on the power play, and I think it's over 3-1 at that point. So something to look at as well for Corey Perry. House, I got two CFO. Anything else you want to get in on Perry there?
No. I was just going to say, like, what's his ice time been now? Like, is he?
It was.
McDavid's going to be up there. Like, is he getting to 20 minutes right now? If
no, he won't. He won't get to 20 minutes. Let me see. Playing. He'll play more without. So let's see. So far in this series, 11, 13, 14, and the last game was 17. So with power play time and his playing with McDavid, he'll probably be around 16 to 18 minutes tonight.
I mean, that's good enough to get a point. And the key is the power play as well. So.
Yeah. That's something you could look at. Hey, I've got two CFL player props. I want to just get everybody to go hop on right now over at Play Alberta. Click on CFL. You'll go find the player props. I'm hammering the unders, and these I don't want to throw shade at these guys, but these numbers are too high. So I bet on both of these myself this morning. Khalil Pimpleton, who's a very talented receiver, under 1,100. The number's 1,150 yards. There were only 5 guys in the league last year who had 1,150 yards. So I hammered Khalil Pimpleton under 1,150 yards and Keyshawn Johnson under 1,150 yards as well. I just think the market's going to move on those right now. I would suggest you go hammer it right away because I would probably expect this number to be closer to 1,000 by the time the season launches next week.
See, I mean, player props, and we've done futures long enough to
talk about unders all the times, right? Like
if you're in doubt, take the under. Now, listen, it is always fun to go in and look at your guys and say, this guy's going to have a monster season and roll with it. But the second a guy misses a game or two, it's probably unlikely that he's able to get to some of these numbers. I mean, they're always sort of best case scenario. So I'm sort of with you. I mean, I think that, how many guys are going to hit 1150 this year in the entire Canadian Football League, period? Yeah,
like 5 guys did it last year. Pimpleton's in an offense that has Justin Hardy and added Geno Lewis. Where are those 1,150 yards coming from?
Yeah.
They're not. And he's a big play guy. He'll have a couple of 50, 60-yard touchdowns this year. But he's not. I don't know how he gets 1,150 yards if Geno and Hardy are both healthy for most of the season. And then Keyshawn Johnson, good player, but they have MLS, they have Sean Bain Jr., they got Keon Schaefer-Baker. I think 1,150 is too high of number for him too. So I think they'll see enough action on these that they're probably going to move. So if you want to get on them now. Pimpleton and Keyshawn Johnson both under 1,150.
No odds for this, but who do you think leads the CFL in passing yards this year? If you had to say, I'm going up, who's your guy? Who's your favorite?
I'd probably still go Bo. I mean, they added Kenny Lawler to that offense. I'd probably still go Bo. Number 2 would be revitalized, revamped Nathan Rourke. VA, if Harris stays healthy. I mean, I love the quarterbacks across the league this year. I listened to CFL 110 and I'm about halfway through it. You guys just got out east. I'm just getting out east. Yes. But really good episode, man. Really good episode. I think you guys make a good point. I mean, the big question about every team could almost be a quarterback. Just quickly. Like, can Rourke find his game in 2022? Can VA change the culture in Calgary? Can Trey Ford be the guy and not lose a job to Cody Fajardo? Can Trevor Harris stay healthy? And if he does, can he win the MVP? Zach Collaros, can he stay healthy at this stage of his career? Congratulations to Zach, by the way, for getting another contract. Davis Alexander has very limited experience. He takes over there. Drew Brown, they want to be the guy in Ottawa. Does he take another step with that behind him? What happens with Chad Kelly in Toronto? Obviously, there's storylines there as well. And then Bo Levi Mitchell, does he have another one last MOP type of season in him? So, yeah, it's going to be great. I can't wait. That's why we had the Spirit of Edmonton guys are in today. This is the first mix of sluice juice this season in the Canadian Football League. Have you ever had the sluice juice?
I think I had it with you with the
at Grey Cup. You've had this a number of times, but they made the first batch today and brought it in for our crew.
Beautiful. All the boys are enjoying the sluice juice.
Sluice juice.
Why is it called sluice? Do we know?
To be honest with you, I don't know if Jerry's he won't tell me the recipe, and I don't know why they call it sluice. But whatever, it works. It's absolutely delicious. What's coming up on WST, Huss?
Well, Jeff Hamilton's going to come on. We're actually going to be getting into some hockey talk with Hammer, dealing with Adam Lowry out 5 to 6 months. I'm not sure if you guys
saw that. Yeah, wow.
Surgery yesterday. So we'll get into that. We'll certainly be talking about this game tonight. The Panthers moving on to the playoffs. I'm sure I'll get on a bit of a rant about Paul Maurice being a complete egomaniac. And then actually it's going to be, we've got a big hockey equipment drive in the city on the weekend for Indigenous kids up north. And Reggie Leach coming on the show today.
Very cool.
You know what? This was so awesome. I think people really like it. I mean, obviously it's a great cause and a great event they've got coming up. But I mean, Reggie told me that he basically was the beneficiary of something like this. I mean, his folks didn't have money to play. He'd never had skates till he was 14 years old.
Come on.
14 years old. He got his first pair of skates. Reggie Leach still has the all-time goal scoring record in the Stanley Cup playoffs. 19 goals in 16 games, scored 61 in a season. And now has just been doing incredible work for Indigenous communities in Manitoba and across the country. So he's going to jump on with us. And Remus is traveling today. Connor's going to be in. We'll hit a bunch of other kind of Jets off-season NHL topics as well. So it should be fun. And Oilers, get the job done. I want Monday and Tuesday to be clear for us to go hard on the CFL and CFL futures going into week 1 next week.
All right. See you later, Matt. There you go. That's us. Winnipeg Sports Talk coming up right away here, about 5 minutes over on the WST channel. One quick recap. We've already got the Lock Shop Partner Parlay. It's up, and I love it. Tyrese Halliburton over 21.5 points, and Corey Perry with a point. Plus 321. Boom. Tremendous. Halliburton 22 plus. Corey Perry with a point, plus 321. McDavid over 1.5 points is plus 100. And then the Oilers to win. McDavid with an assist. Nuge with a point. Draisaitl with 2+ shots, plus 320. This could be one of those nights. Like if the Oilers get going early, I think it'll be a tight one. I'm feeling a tight one tonight. But if they do get going early, we'll be cashing a bunch of these bad boys tonight. Future apologies to our partners over at Play Alberta. I mean, they got to have a lot of stock in the oil winning this thing. It's gonna hurt the book a little bit, I think. But hey, it's the game you play. All right, so that's going to do it for the Lock Shop today. We'll dive into the Oilers and start to take a look at those lines. 2 guys and a goalie coming up with Cass and Gager and myself. Thank you very much for joining us on the Lock Shop today. Best of luck if you're riding with us tonight, and we will chat with you tomorrow.